they had me square dancing as a kid when I was like 10. You don't really, the times are moving all the time, but when you're put in the situation where you got to be stuck in an era, there's a lot of things going on, and when you're in middle school, you're just starting to, smell like BO, and you no longer need the 64 pack of crayons anymore. All you need is an extra piece of gum for your bro, and maybe the girl you're crushing on, and maybe you didn't do your homework to be cool, because in middle school it didn't count, and that was a big thing. A lot, middle school doesn't count, Dom. Why are you trying so hard? And I never really knew why. I mean, I would go a little hard, but just knowing that it didn't really matter was always kind of a different thing to me. And I think the bottom line of that is what it really means in real life. And right now, and what we're all going through, you may be going through something, letting someone's opinion of you change what you do, and your happiness and your stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you're happy and you don't give a shit about what people think, you shouldn't let it, bring you down. And, I feel like right now the world just is in a fragile place a little bit, and, to come together and to forgive, and, it's hard to do. I'm in a situation where I'm trying to forgive something, and it's a little rough. But, day by day it gets better. Today I woke up and, I felt really great. And today is the 28th of June on a Sunday, and I feel really good this morning. I feel really good. And I'm really thankful I'm able to record, and it actually makes me feel a little bit better. Setting up is a little bit of a pain, but this setup is not hard to do. I got... Again, to help you guys who think this is all professional stuff, it's 2 iPhones recording, and then this microphone is pretty nice. But you can get away with anything, and that records. And, if you ever have any questions about that, please let me know. I'm thinking about starting a course on how to start this up and how to do it, in under a certain amount of money. Anyways, today it's been about a week and a half since the last episode's been out, and I'm not going to sit here and, moan and groan, because if I sit here and moan and groan and, forgive without forgetting, or no, forgive with forgetting, then I'm not going to get anywhere. You could forgive and you should forget. You shouldn't forgive and not forget, because then you're not really forgiving. So, what's been going on with me? Been just chilling. Really just getting used to the summer grind a little bit. I've been working. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been working. Summer is the time of the year where a lot of people like to get a little bit extra cash, and a little bit extra cash to go down to the burger joint and get an extra large, And, in native country right now, there's a lot of reservations out there, including my own. And Tulalip, go check out Joseph Fireworks. It's great fireworks over there, Showtime Fireworks. Even check out my little brother's stand over in Tulalip, Boom Boom Long Time. There's a lot of great people out there selling fireworks, and it's a way of it's Asian people making fireworks for Native Americans to sell on the white people's Independence Day. It's a big globalization little thing, nativization. And it's fun, fireworks has taught me a lot of things. I'm selling. I'm unfortunately not selling this year, but if you guys have any questions on where to get fireworks, please message me away and let me know. But it's another way of letting tribal members and get their things going, make a little bit of extra cash. Like I said before, get that extra large fry at the Burger Shack. Or maybe one more hit at the casino. It's who doesn't like making extra money? You could do it in a crafts way, you could do it in a firework way, but most people I know like to do it the firework way. I've been joining. I joined the native tribal member page, and man, tribal member pages mostly include probably drama, people selling beadwork. What else we got? People selling things that were stolen. There's a lot of things on a tribal member page that you never really get back. You get a lot of people complaining. You get occasional people saying, today's a good day, and then people commenting, and, they don't really know what they're commenting, or people saying, hey, people who don't really understand Facebook, they'll post something, and they'll be like, hey, Dom, I need to get a hold of Dom, and they don't even tag me, and they just post it and expect me to see it. It doesn't work like that, but we got to teach our elders these things and help them with those type of things, because believe me, some of these elders know way intense more things than we do. Way of intense more things than we do. Like they can skin an animal, but posting on Facebook is almost harder than that to them. And to us, skinning an animal may be hard for you, or maybe going out fishing or doing all these things may be hard for you, but we got to remember we shouldn't moan and groan and complain about when we got to help them show how to do things on Facebook, because it's not that hard. Because it is hard to pass down languages, and it is hard to pass down traditions, and they're trying, and for us to not even show them a simple thing of how to tag someone in something, it just shows our generation, and we shouldn't let that happen. And I didn't really expect this episode to be really soft and like this, but it's just something I want to get out there. Just something, part of the wheel. And part of the reason this podcast is red, you look at the wheel behind me, that was made by my Nana, and, shout out to her. But the main thing about this redness color I love about it is it's teaching. And I love being taught and love teaching and telling people. And, it has a lot of impactfulness to it. So if you guys are listening to the video version, you can see the medicine wheel behind me. But if you are listening to audio, just envision that color red. You can envision, it was probably like the third left marker, in the marker thing. I think if I were to think really hard, if I were to guess, you look at a regular standard Crayola 10-pack of markers, I would think the red would be like 3 to the left, So you open it and then you look, and it's like, I would say they put yellow in the middle, green, and then red, and then blue on the right. That's what I think. I think that way. I think I overthink sometimes. And I think a lot of you too. A lot of people overthink as well. And it could get you a lot of places. It could help you, and it also could hurt you. And I'm also here, I love to hear myself talk, and a lot of people like to use that as an insult, He likes to hear himself talk, and I do. But if you don't like to hear yourself talk, what's the point of talking? Because whenever you talk, you're going to hear yourself. So that's all I have to say about that. But as soon as you think, you're in a grocery aisle too. You could be alone walking, maybe you're looking for some detergent. But by the way, you can only get one. Some things right now, you can only buy one thing during this virus. And I was going down this aisle that I thought nobody would be on. I was just taking a shortcut. You could take shortcuts when you're in supermarkets because you don't want to walk all the way around. So you cut through the clothing departments. So I was cutting through the clothing departments, and I was going by the toasters in Target. And somehow there's always somebody wants to come in your aisle when you're in it. Can I get an aisle to myself? That's all I really ask in supermarkets. But I was in Target, and the way how Target goes right now is, self-checkout, there's only 2 available because they have to, socially distance. And then after every one of them, they have to wipe it down. And I had 4 things, so I wasn't going to go wait, and have it wait in a standard line with the cashier, because I was like, I could just scan these and go. But turns out that's the slower way to go. Self-checkout is not the way to do things now with COVID, because they got to come wash it. So this family had they didn't look like they were from here. Actually, no, they did. They definitely were from here. I mean, you're from here if you go to Target. If you're not from here, you go to Walmart, maybe a different supermarket. But so they definitely, came to Target, and they were speaking English, and they were doing fine. And they walked up, and they had their whole cart filled going to self-checkout. And I'm usually not opposed to this, but they were taking forever. And I'm sitting there, with my toothbrush and my buying a new mask, because now the state law of Washington is to wear a mask. I'll have to go get a new one. And I finally get there, and I have to wait. I swear to God, I waited 20 minutes. Sitting there, complaining, puffing air, grabbed my phone out real quick to write this down so I wouldn't forget and to complain about it. And man, I was so butthurt. And why do we get so butthurt? I don't know, but these people were taking forever. I could have went and maybe started the process of taxes, when you open it, TurboTax, and kind of started a little bit. I could at least got my standard information in by the time they were done. That's a reminder, if you got to do taxes. I don't really know if you need to. I think I need to. A lot of people don't like to pay them, but I mean, I think you're supposed to, and I think I will this year. Yeah, I think I will. It's just one of those things, and COVID is, brought a lot of things, and it's brought definitely COVID is the most important thing I think COVID has brought us is how to spell the word quarantine, because none of y'all knew how to spell fucking quarantine before COVID. And let's just be honest. If I were to spell quarantine, I think it's Quarantine. Quarantine. I think I spelled it right. I hope I did. But before COVID, I think I'd spell it with an S, or maybe a C. Cork and teen. I don't know. No, I'd spell it right, probably. Go Cougs in that situation. I just get confused in life sometimes, and the supermarket's one of those the places that I get confused the most because there's so many different aisles and there's so many different things, and sometimes you think you know what's going to be in an aisle, but you're too lazy to look up a foot to see what the aisle has in it. So you're like, oh, now that I'm getting older, I know the bakery aisle has, the sugars and the oils and the gluten-free stuff sometimes and the spices. But, the one thing I think I'll never understand and I will always laugh at is the people who are in the grocery stores looking at eggs. And they open it and they look at it like, these aren't good. Those are fine. Unless they're cracked and broken, that's when you can go, these aren't good. But I've seen people open completely good, regular eggs. Nah, not these ones. Just because there's a little bit of a spot on them. Are you eating the shell? In any way of eggs, in any way if you cook them, you're not eating the shell. You scramble them, you're not eating the shell. Jimmy's making cookies. Maybe he leaves a shell in there. Because he doesn't know how to crack the eggs properly. Maybe that's how you eat the shell. Or hard-boiled eggs. What's the first thing you do? You break the shell after they come out. You don't eat the shell. It's like on an apple. You eat the skin on an apple, so you'd wash it. Are you washing the eggs before you do that? Maybe you're boiling them, and that totally takes it out of the equation. So even if it was dirty, it wouldn't be a big deal because you'd boil it. You boil anything, it kills anything. That's why when you boil lake water, it becomes drinkable because it zaps everything in there and it kills it basically with the heat. And I'm not saying go boil water and drink it because that's not what you do. What you do is you boil it and then you let it cool, overnight. For the people who hike and stuff. I'm not saying drinking boiling water is good because it's not. But sometimes in situations where you gotta, have clean water, that's a way to do it. And also I've been listening to King of the Sting, and they were talking about if you're on a beach, stranded on a beach, and you can't make a fire, and there's sand, a lot of sand, and it's really hot. What you could do is catch a salamander, or catch something and kill it and put it under the sand. It'll cook it. Maybe you could wrap it in something and maybe put a mango in there or something, make it taste really good. Or maybe some coconut. Maybe put some rocks under it so the heat rises. I don't know, but that's like another thing you could think of. And if you're driving and say you fall off a bridge and your car gets underwater, and you can't open your door when the water, because the pressure, you can't open your door, so you're gonna have to break your window. And say you didn't have your window open, what you would do is on your headrest behind you, when you're sitting in a car, you could lift that up, and then those two metal poles on the bottom, you could take those out and bash your glass, and it's going to come rushing in on you, so be aware of that. But it's a hack. Some people, I think, said you could use your seatbelt. You could just unhook it and use it like a brass knuckle. I think that's something you could do. So be aware of that. Yeah, it's just something that could happen. It's a little obnoxious, but you never know. Maybe you're listening to this, and by the chances of life, you start falling off a cliff, and you're listening to this, so it could be instructions to you right now. Do you ever think of that sometimes, though? Say someone were to come in your house and steal something, and you're just watching TV, that show would be on when they're stealing. Yeah, or that song would be on. Say you get in a crash and there's just this song playing, your favorite song's playing, and you're bleeding out to death in your car because of a crash. That is weird sometimes to me. I think of those weird things. I don't know. It's a good day to be an Indigenous, and it's a good day to be anything, and specifically right now, it's almost 4th of July, and there's a lot of people out there and doing great things. And, I'm really proud of everyone who's out there. What else do we got today? When you pull up, you get home late at night after a long day's of work. One thing I like to do is just pull into the parking spot and park and just sit in my car, listen to music until I gotta go to the bathroom, maybe until dinner's ready, maybe until, I just feel like going to sleep. But sitting there and jamming to your music is sometimes one of the best things you could do. Maybe you're just sitting there mentally preparing to go into something you don't really want to do. Maybe you're going to get yelled at to do your homework. Maybe you're going to get yelled at because you were over at your girlfriend's house. Or maybe you were going to get yelled at because you didn't take the trash out last Tuesday and your parents are mad at you. So maybe sitting in the car, in your own little space, it's really nice, because when you're in a car, it's more than just something that brings you places. It's something that brings you freedom. You could do whatever you want. Say you go somewhere and you don't want to be there, you could leave. It allows you to have that, and that's what I love my car about. It gives me options. I could go places and all that kind of stuff. But I really love doing that. I really love just chilling in there. I spent probably 10,000 hours in my car just chilling, totally chilling. 10,000 hours of my life would probably be I don't know. But I definitely am an expert. The 10,000 repetitive rule. I am definitely an expert. What do I think about Kid Cudi making a podcast? Kid Cudi making a podcast, I am so happy. Kid Cudi's done a lot of things for me. I love listening to his music. But goddamn, as soon as 2020 may have been a hard year, and I think, it has been a hard year, but I'm really, optimistic for the rest of it so far. And Kid Cudi saying he's going to start a podcast is the next best thing for me. I'm super proud. I hope to be on there one day. Keep the dreams big. And, I reached out to him on Twitter. Maybe he'll see it. But yeah, I'm super excited he's starting a podcast. If he really, when he comes through with it, I believe he will. I think all of us are going to be really, really excited for what he does. And in Cudi news, I heard Kanye just signed with Gap for a 10-year clothing deal. So all those people that would hate on me for going to Gap, would go get some white tees or some underwear, joke's on you now. You're going to be the one waiting outside with your, waiting to get your streetwear. Well, I was already in there, and the stock prices went up for it. man, I think it went up like 30%, because that's big for their brand. That's like a sponsor signing a big athlete. And right now, I think we have a dog barking outside as usual. As timed, right in the middle of something important. That is when dogs like to bark. You're on a phone call, bark. You're trying to be quiet, sneaking back in, barks. You're trying to, do something, barks. Trying to focus, that's another bark. And you can't control dogs and what them like to, them barking. And maybe if I was ever a dog, I would definitely bark all the time, but just enough to not be brought to the pound. And, the pound isn't a good place. They be putting dogs down, and that's not cool. But sometimes, these dogs, they're sick, and they shouldn't be living. But I'm not saying all dogs should be put down or anything like that. Before you get all mad and try to cancel me for saying that, I think sometimes there's dogs that are, not they're not mental in the head, and they want to just bite things and they want to be mean. So I think those dogs are the dogs that deserve to be there, not dogs that are lost, and that's not right. It's not. And that's just not right to me. What else do we got here today, fellas? I got a couple quotes I want to share with you guys, but I don't know if I really want to share them, because I feel like they're a little like, I feel like they're bringing up the things I've been thinking about and the sadness the overthinking I've been doing. Yeah, and I feel like dumping it on you guys isn't going to do me anything. So what I was going to do is I was going to tell you this quote, and I was going to ramble on and try to sound preachy, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I want you to think about your life, and I want you to think about the great things that you got going on, and I want you to think about, the good people you have in your life when I tell you this quote. So I'm not going to elaborate on it, and I'm not going to make you think I'm going through anything, because I'm not. I have a roof over my head. I got good people in my life, and death isn't approaching anyone in my family. And those are the hardest things, and those are the things that you should be worrying about. If it's, you had to wait to get your mail an hour because the mail lady was filling in the mailbox, that's an okay problem to have. And for the people who are facing the deaths and the family issues and all that, I'm with you. But this is a quote by one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's Mad Men, and it's from the main character, Don Draper. And the quote is, "People tell you who they are, but we ignore it because we want them to be who we want them to be." And you could apply that to anything you want right now. You could apply that, in front of the car in front of you that's driving like a nice Porsche. And, you want to believe that it's a guy in a midlife crisis. And it may very well may be a guy with a midlife crisis. But we want them to be this douche. And they might not even be a douche. Yeah. An old mentor of mine, Maddox from YouTube. New York Times bestseller, great guy, great personal guy. I've met him over Instagram DMs, and I worked for him for a little bit. He had this segment called Douchebag of the Week, and he had this very cool soundboard about it with the Douchebag of the Week. And I'm going to see if I could get that and, incorporate that into the show, because I really want to carry on that tradition. Douchebag of the Week. Because we all have our Douchebag of the Weeks. And if we could bring it in and talk about who's been a douchebag, I'd want you guys to submit your douchebags of the week to me. So I'm going to give him a call, and not now, but I will definitely ask him if he's okay with me using that soundbite and incorporating that into my show. If, he's not cool with, us using douchebag of the week, then we'll make our own version. What was your struggle of the week? How'd you get through it? But again, the hotline to the show is 425-320-3641. And with that, I actually have a voicemail from somebody I would like to play. And let's play that right now.
Into your podcast.
Whoa.
And hi, Dom. It's Quina. Just calling in to say I'm looking forward to listening to your podcast and keep up the good work. Okay.
Oh, that right there was from my girlfriend right there. That's Quina, everyone. And shout out to her for leaving that voicemail. And she's awesome. She's out there working right now and doing her thing, and I'm really proud of her, everything that she's up to. Yeah, thanks again, Quina. I love you too. And I think if you guys want to, leave a message, I would be more than happy to play it. I can't wait for when I have people calling in more and sharing their days and things like that. And God, I love hearing people's voice. I love hearing people that are doing things, and let me know what you're up to this weekend. If you want to call into the show, the number is 425-320-3641. Leave any message you want, leave any positive things you come through. Maybe, honestly, I've had people, call me and be like, hey, Dom, I broke up with my girl and I don't know what to do. And if you want advice on that, or, hey, Dom, I'm in a tough spot. What do you recommend I do next? Do I get a job? Do I move to this place? Do I move towns over? Do I, feel free to let that know, on the show. I'm not saying I'm going to give you any money or I'm going to do that, but I could definitely give you free advice. And I'm not a counselor and I'm not a therapist, but if you need some clarification on, some things that you would ask an older brother, an older cousin, or maybe a little cousin, let me help out. I hope everyone's doing great. And I'm super excited that I got to be on here today and talk to you guys, because I really did miss it. But there's been a lot of great, funny things that have been going on because I've been back in public. I went to the casino with my girlfriend, right? And she wanted to get a ginger ale. And we both don't drink. And so, but she is not 21. She's about to be 21 next February or something like that. And so we went in and she really wanted to get one, and I handed her my ID because I'm 22. And I was just like, here's my ID. And they're like, okay, yeah, you're of age. And then she handed it hers, and she's like, oh, you're good. And, totally added it wrong. And we got the ginger ales, and the lady next to us, was sitting there. And she tried ratting us out, like, oh, they're not 21. It's like, man, don't be mad at us because you haven't been ID'd your whole life. Don't be mad at us because you don't have a man sitting next to you. Don't be mad at us because you just spent your Social Security money on, your beer. Don't be mad at us that, you had to walk across the casino to go to the bathroom. We didn't even get any alcohol. There was no big deal at all. We were just getting ginger ales. So what's the big deal? If we were to get an alcoholic drink, which we didn't, then there would be a problem. But there was no alcohol in a ginger ale. There isn't. There's ginger and ale. That's what's in ginger ale. There's no extra like tequila. There's no extra whatever the fuck it is, Absolute or whatever the fuck it is. What we got at the fucking bar is something I could go buy at Walmart. And majority of those drinks you could go and get and make anyway. So her to chime in and, not do simple addition for the lady who's working there, it's on her. Then two, the lady who needs, wanted to really chime in, mind your own business. The mind your own business of the week goes to the lady in the corner of the bar. Mind your own business. Go sit back on the slot. You better take your money back to those penny slots because that's all you got. I look at that casino voucher, I'm going to see 13 cents. You could maybe play one more hit if you go walk over there, and please do. Lunch is over, man. Dinner's over, too. Go get some dessert because I don't want to deal with it. I think they got some free drinks over there if you walk over there, maybe, but I really don't want to hear it, and neither does she, and neither do the people around us, and neither do the people in line. Yeah, man, I love this, and I love coming on here and talking, man, and thank you guys so much for listening. It's been 30 minutes. Today is Sunday, June 28th, so, you go somewhere and someone asks the date. Maybe you'll pull that from this, the 28th of 2020, the June month. Yeah, so thank you guys for listening, and have a great one. And remember to call into the show, 425-320-3641, and I hope everyone has a great day. And, yeah, don't remember, Gap is now in. Gap is in. All right, guys, have a great one.